for me, kind of being a newer comic, like when you get to work with bigger comics and comics that have been on TV and movies and stuff like that. And I know that you had opened for Nick Swartzen.
Yeah.
And started like a real friendship. Right?
Oh, yeah.
A real friendship.
Yeah, a real friendship. He just messaged me a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So he's on vacation now with his significant other. They're celebrating birthdays and friends and stuff like that. So, I was on a cruise ship. Well, and funny enough, I was on a cruise ship and he was on vacation with his friends. And he messaged me on Instagram and he said, "Hey, I'm on your ship." And I'm like, "Why the fuck? What?"
Did you think it was like a prank at first?
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe he means this for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm like, why the fuck is Nick Swartzen? I mean, I'm a fan. I like Nick Swartzen, but I don't know. It just seems weird that he would message me. And even if he were on my ship, why would he be messaging me?
Yeah.
And I've been, like I said, a comic a long time, but I still quite don't know how to act in front of like famous people. And I've been around some famous people.
Yeah.
But I don't know always how to like react or be, or I'm like, I don't want to say something stupid. And then I messaged Brent Terhune, and I go, dude, what? He's like, dude, just ask him to come to the show. Right? See, just suggest. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. So I said, hey man, why don't you come to my show tonight?
It was like a pretty girl messaged you, and you were just all thumbs.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. He's like, yeah, we're gonna come to one or both of your shows tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then he saw it. He saw the family friendly shows, and then he said, well, come hang out with us, come find us. And so I found them at the dance kind of bar area. And it was weird because I walked in. I don't go to the dance club, but this doesn't happen much anyway. But I walk in, and then people spotted me that were on the dance floor and just started clapping. And I'm like, I know I had a pretty good set, but like, this is weird. Mm-hmm. And so everybody, and the people at the bar were like, oh my God, man. I'm like, have you never seen comedy ever? Yeah. I don't understand.
Right. For example, Nick was on the floor already. Yeah. And they started clapping for you.
Yeah, it was strange. But he was off in a corner somewhere. So I found him and he goes, hey man. I go, hey, how's it going? He's like, have a seat. And so I sat down and we talking, and he's like, you had a really good set. And I go, thanks. He goes, you're funny. I go, I appreciate that. He goes, well, you stepped on your laughs a couple times. I'm like, yeah, I do that. I go too fast sometimes. But he goes, do you want to open for me on my fall tour? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. Let's do this.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was great. And then we've done like, I think 10 or 12 dates now. And I'd love to open for him some more, but he's got like 3 or 4 openers that kind of rotate around, and kind of depending on his mood or their mood or who's available. And so, I mean, if I don't ever get to work with him again, I understand, it's fine. But I enjoyed every show that we've done together.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
So we've talked lots of stuff, lots of Hollywood stuff and screenwriting stuff and hopefully future shows together stuff. So he's really an interesting person, and he's got some great Norm Macdonald stories and great Hollywood stories. And I don't know, we were walking around and he was on the phone. And I think I stayed in front of him that way. I didn't want to eavesdrop or anything, but he had mentioned he was on the phone with somebody talking about a script he wrote, and who's the guy that played Captain America?
Chris Evans?
Chris Evans. Yeah. He goes, and he mentioned Chris Evans or something like that. Oh yeah, he's read it. I'm like, what's going on? So it's hard not to, like, when you hear stuff like that, like, what is this? What am I doing? How am I allowed to even...
Wait, Captain America read this?
Yeah. And so, hope I'm not letting any cats out of the bag. I don't think so. But I was just like, that's really cool. I mean, that's just normal conversations for him.
Yeah.
And so it's fun for me, to just, and he wasn't showy about it. He was just that conversation he had to have. Right. It was like being in the green room with Bobcat Goldthwait years ago, and we're sitting there, and he's on the phone, and he's like, "Hey man, we got approval. We're gonna make a picture together." And I could hear on the other line, "Oh, it's great," and then I get off the phone, and because what I heard, and he was not hiding anything, and we're in the green room just hanging out, and I go, "Hey man, can I ask you a question?" He goes, "Yeah, what?" I go, "Were you on the phone with Robin Williams?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "What the fuck?" You know?
Wow.
So that's just crazy to me. You know,
it's insane.
Man.
Oh my God. I remember being so mad when I found out that that's not his real voice. Like he kept the kayfabe up for like decades.
Yeah.
Like he would act in that. He would act in movies in that voice.
Yeah.
And then one day he just walks on TV and he's like, I'm Bobcat. He had also like lost a bunch of weight, and I was just like, what? Who is this person?
Yeah. He's a cool guy. He's a great guy. And he does it even on stage. He goes, I think I've met my contractually obligated amount of time to sound like that. So. Yeah. And then he just starts talking. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I mean, you know it, because off stage you talk to him and he's not talking like that. But,
yeah.
You know, it's like, who's the guy that does, hey, I talk like this the whole time? Who's that? That's been around like 40 years. What is his name?
Forrest Gump.
No. Oh, shoot. Your listeners are going to be like yelling it out, but I can't remember his name now all of a sudden. But he has this, like, sort of a bowl cut, guy who's nothing. Nobody?
Stephen Wright? No.
Oh, dag nabbit. This is bothering me now.
I'm eating brunch with my people, though. Homie Doc just cooked up a feast and we about to eat.